Dear friends, welcome to another episode of Today's Military World, a channel exclusively dedicated to discussing current military topics. In this video, we'll talk about Aling, the largest shipyard for dismantling ships, which also offers the worst conditions in the world. In yesterday's video, I talked about how warships are retired, a process that can be very long and complex, depending on the vessel. These ships can have many destinations. Among them, one that attracts special attention: dismantling. As you know, ships use absurd amounts of steel. Not to mention the many kilometers of electrical cables and their intricate piping system. A vessel, even when no longer useful to a navy, still carries all this material, which can be very valuable. The material can be recycled and reused in other vessels, and that's why there are large shipyards around the world specifically dedicated to this task. When the owner of a ship, which could also be a navy vessel, decides to completely dismantle it, it's because they've concluded that modernizing it is too expensive, and it's more economically advantageous to simply sell it to one of these shipyards. There are many shipyards dedicated to this task worldwide, such as Brownsville in Texas, the main destination for U.S. Navy warships. It's a gigantic structure, designed to precisely dismantle the ships that arrive there. The goal is to try to reuse as much of the vessel as possible, with steel and electrical cables being recycled and sold to other shipyards. The big problem with facilities like this is that they are expensive, precisely because they comply with all international safety standards. Quality is important when what's desired is a quick and, above all, inexpensive job. Attention turns to other regions of the world, such as Pakistan, Bangladesh, and India, where the largest shipbreaking yards in the world are located. In Pakistan, the Gadani shipyard stands out as the third largest in the world, capable of dismantling up to 125 ships per year. Despite being the third largest in the world in terms of volume, it is the first in terms of efficiency, completely dismantling a 10,000-ton ship in a maximum of 5 weeks. In Bangladesh, we find Chittagong, second in the world in terms of volume, but first in terms of the number of people directly involved in the dismantling task, with some estimates pointing to 70,000 to 100,000 people working on this arduous and dangerous task. And finally, we have Aling Beach in India, the place they go. Nearly 50% of all ships in the world destined for dismantling arrive in Aling. The ships take advantage of high tide, speeding towards the beach, with the aim of beaching the vessel later. When the tide is low, hundreds of workers advance towards the ship, armed with large and powerful industrial torches, sledgehammers, and saws. The workers' first action is to remove all remaining cables and ropes, as well as anything electrical or electronic, with all of this going to the numerous fairs in the region's cities. Next, they remove everything that is not an integral part of the ship's hull, such as masts and other welded structures, and then finally proceed to cutting the hull, the most dangerous stage of all. The work is almost entirely manual, done by people with very little technical qualification, resulting in a terribly high accident rate, with at least 1 death per month. They work 6 days a week in 14-hour shifts, earning less than $4 a day, subjecting themselves to poisoning and explosions inside ships and containers still full of dangerous gases, as well as crushing injuries due to falling heavy ship parts. And besides merchant cruise ships, these shipyards also receive military vessels. For example, the former Brazilian aircraft carrier, the Minas Gerais, ended its days stranded in Aling, reduced to poorly cut pieces of steel that were then sold to other shipyards around the world. The same fate that will be shared by most ships, merchant or military, that sail the seas today.